I'm Generic Redstone Genius, and today we're going to look at a good way to move and deal with villagers in Minecraft. So the first thing I'll recommend you do is make a villager breeder that is somewhat similar to this. This villager breeder is currently turned off. You would have to break this block to turn it back on. However, this design I will link down in the description. But the point is, what you want to have is some sort of feature like this, where the villagers can be scooped up with minecarts. So basically the way you usually do that is you make the villager, like the villagers that breed, you have a chamber for them like this, and you make it out of glass, and then you have the minecart rails go through the glass like this, so that it'll pick up the villager on its way out. So the blocks need to go through this diagonal bit, as you can see here, to pick up the villagers. So what you can do is then you can acquire your minecart, and push the button, and then you'll see that the villager gets sent off, and then you can do what you need to do with it, be it put in a trader or use it for some other purpose. And now I'll show you how I like to do trading halls. So I usually make trading halls like this, but this technique will work for most designs. So what you'll do is to simply build another module on this design, is place in the two side blocks, which is already is from this module. Place the two back blocks, place the two other side blocks, place a block on top. You can place a block in the floor for aesthetic purpose, and then place the block required for the villager profession. I'll have a chart with a link below in the description to show you the different professions and what block you will need. Now to actually put the villager in the module in the trading hall, what you'll need to do is break the top block and then place some temporary blocks. I'm going to use the deep slate just so you can see the difference. So you first will place one there, you'll place one here on top of the profession block, and you'll fill in all four corners. And the reason you fill in all four corners is because if you don't, and it's like this, where the corners are not filled, and you break the minecart, it will teleport outside to the corners like that, and that'll allow it to escape, and that is not what you want. And also, just quickly before I move on, it's worth mentioning that you wouldn't have the trading hall out in the open like this. You would have to build like some walls around it to make sure no mobs attack it. But anyways, then what you'll do now is build this out here and then connect the rail line all the way there. Now once you have your rail line set, what you'll do is place the minecart here and then simply push the button to pick up the villager and then send them into the thing. Now I'm going to hop into survival for this just so it's easier. And you're going to press F3 and B so that you can see the hitboxes. And now we can see the hitbox of the villager and the minecart. That's F3 and B. And now we're going to precisely click the minecart without hitting the villager. So now that we did that, the villager is free, and we can break away like the corners. And we can place the top in. And we can break that. But then what we're going to need to do is make sure he locks onto this profession thing, which he isn't. So we'll break this down again and replace it. And sometimes if they don't lock on, sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. What you'll kind of have to do is place it back in like this so it's facing it. And sometimes that fixed it. So as you see there, it fixed it. And then what you can do is if you don't like the trade, which I don't in this case, you have to replace the block, break it, and then replace the profession block. And then you can check his new trade, which is the same thing. See, now we got Fortune 2. So that's not a bad trade, so let's just say I want to keep it. I'd have to buy it immediately, so let's just, so you'd have to trade it immediately, put in the 17 emeralds in the book, and then you'll get the Fortune 2, or you can just buy this. Otherwise, it won't lock in. So you have to do this to lock it in, otherwise it will change the trades in maybe like 5 to 10 minutes. So then once you've done that, you have to move on to the second villager. So how you would do that is simple. I'm just going to hop back into creative. You have to just break this block, place the top block in, fill in the corners again, fill in the top, and then you just place the rail over and then just continue on. Now we're going to look at how you would put villagers in an iron farm. So most iron farm modules look something like this. It varies slightly. Some might have carpet on the chests or whatnot, but this is the basis for it. So the first thing you have to do is break the glass on top, so that, or just not place the glass on top initially, so that you can get it in here. And then what you're gonna have to do is you can't directly put them in here because then you'd have to fill in all the corners and there's a string and that just interferes. So what I recommend you do is you place off of there a block. And now we're going to try and put the villagers onto this block. So we're going to build a little chamber. And so we're going to drop the villagers into. So you usually need 3, so you would send in 3. But then the issue is that they start stacking on top of each other. So that does create some issues. So what you have to do is add another layer to make it 3 tall. And then we can put it across like this. And just fill in the rails. So now it will go into there. So I will demonstrate. So we get the first villager. And we're leaving F3 and beyond, again, just so you can see the difference between the villager and not the villager, like the villager in the minecart. And what we're going to do is we're just going to break it. And then we're going to do the same thing again. But what's going to happen this time is it should land on top of the villager's head like so. So then we're just going to break it again. So that's why you need a third block, otherwise it would teleport out. And now we get the third villager, and that's the last one you're going to need for the iron farm module. And same thing. Break it. Okay, so now that it's all in place, we need to make sure that it will land directly on the area. So what we're going to do is place this to make a tube, and the villager won't be able to sneak through this area. So you can't really do anything about that. Don't place that there. So what the last thing you're going to have to do is break this block. And the villagers will take a tad of fall damage, but it won't kill them. And then sometimes they make like that was a bit of lag or whatnot, but it's fine. Then place in the glass, and now they are locked in. So now you can break the rest of this away. And then if you actually are making an iron farm, it is important that you break this all away because iron golems could spawn on it and it would mess up the spawn rate of the farm and whatnot. But yeah, that's pretty much that, and you can place the torches back if it's necessary. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how I like to deal with villagers in Minecraft. So I'd like to thank you guys very much for watching this video. I hope you guys found it useful. I've been Engineer Redstone Genius. I'll catch you guys in the next video.